What's up, guys? So last night me and Gianni recorded a tier list of all the Showtime skills, and since today they released a momentum dribbling Vinny and a visionary pass Kroos with a phenomenal finish from Mbappe coming on Monday. I think this will be a good resource to let you guys know if these Showtime skills are worth spinning for, so enjoy the video. What's up, guys? So today we're going to be looking at a Showtime skills tier list alongside Gianni.
Hey.
So we're going to be ranking the players firstly without the skill in consideration, and we'll see if they move up or down. I mean, I guess they won't move down, hopefully not anyway. And then afterwards we're gonna be considering the skill and see, you know, how much it kind of changes the player, and it'll help us determine how good the skills are. So we're starting off with game changing passes, and we actually got a free Showtime skill player recently. So we have Ruben Neves, and I haven't got my hands on him yet, but looking at his stats, he looks amazing. He's an orchestrator. Have you got him yet yourself, Johnny?
No, I haven't got him yet.
Yeah,
so close though.
Yeah, I really want him because he's similar to Wilshere, but just a bit actually quite a lot better defensively. But he actually still retains a lot of the dribbling qualities. He has 82 balance. Xabi Alonso came out this week, and he's terrible for me, and it's because he has low balance. I think your orchestrator needs balance. So based on the build alone, I'm gonna put Ruben Neves in B tier. What about yourself, Johnny?
I just put him in C tier.
C tier is. Do you think it's gonna be high C tier or low?
I think it's gonna be high C tier.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I think he's very good. All right, next player is Verratti. So similar to Ruben Neves, but the dribbling and balance just goes on steroids, and he actually has better defensive stats, although he is a lot lighter and a lot shorter. So you have Verratti, haven't you? So what would you say? Would you say defensively he's as good as his defensive stats say, or do you think the height and weight is a bit of a problem?
I think defensively he's actually pretty solid, to be honest.
Yeah, because if he's got high aggression and he's relatively quick, I think is he kind of like a Kante a little bit? He just kind of runs in.
Is that mixture with Kante and Pirlo kind of?
Yeah. So you've played nearly
power.
Yeah, you've nearly played 200 games. And what tier would you put him in?
I'd put him in low B tier, I think, or early, or just above Neves and C tier, but I think I'll go low B tier.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go the same. Although I do think Wilshere is very similar to him, but I'm sure Wilshere is probably Verratti's a bit better than Wilshere.
Thinking about his other games I played, I'm gonna change my mind. I want to go put him in C tier, just because I feel sometimes the aerial as well is a problem. But I think for me, I'm gonna put him in C tier.
Yeah, and I have used other versions. I think the speed might be a problem.
But I'll put him just above Ruben. Yeah,
I'm going to keep mine in B tier, but he probably might be low on it. All right, next player, Toni Kroos. I love him in real life, but I haven't used any card of his in this game that I like, and it's really disappointing for me. So for me, I kind of want to put a B tier, but I think I don't know. Is that too far? What would you say?
As I've used the card, I have him.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna put him in B tier. He might go in the high B tier, in my opinion. He's a bit slow.
Yeah, a bit stiff.
As an orchestrator, I don't think you need that much pace. You just need to be able to position yourself well, pass. And he's got decent defensive stats, and his finishing 79. And I used him, and I looked at his skills. He had all the shooting traits, passing traits, and interception as well. A couple of skills I could add, but I think I could put him in B tier. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm shocked he doesn't have very high weak foot. I think if he had very high weak foot.
Yeah, see that's not very bad.
Yeah, that's actually a complete oversight by Konami, I think. But I don't think it's the lack of speed that's the problem. I think it's the balance. I'll put him in low C tier, and you're having him in B tier.
B tier, yep.
Okay, next player, Odegaard. Now I know you love this guy, but you released this version, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I released him.
Is there a reason for that, or?
I released them. I need a GP, but I actually released them just because I had the
Classic 10.
Classic 10.
Yeah.
And I felt the Classic 10, the playstyle suited him more than this one, so I released the game-changing pass one.
Alright, fair enough. I've used the Classic 10. I also think he's very good. So based on that, and I've used the Player of the Week creative playmaker as well, and I would have had that creative playmaker Player of the Week in B tier. So I think it's fair to say this one should go in B tier too. Next player.
I have him in high C tier, just
high C tier
at the top.
Okay, so the playstyle for class of 10 is very important for you on Odegaard.
Yep.
All right, next player, Bellingham. I love this guy in this game. So I think, I don't know, you've got a lot of experience with this card actually. You start this one off.
Yep. I've used him. For me, one of the best box-to-box CMs you can get in the game. In my opinion, he's got the pace, he's got physical contact, good defending, good passing. His finishing's on the low side, but I mean, the trade-off from what you get, I think is worth it. He's got very high weak foot. He's got all the shooting. He's got stuff you need, first-time shot. The only thing he is missing, though, is through passing. But I have noticed with the game-changing pass in the second half, it feels like it's through. It feels like he's got the through passing skill.
All right,
so you can kind of get away with that only if you're losing for the skill to be active.
Yeah, and we'll get further into that after we do the next player last. I think Bellingham's great.
Stats, definitely.
Yeah, I think he's great. I had the nominating contract version, very good. I love the whole player one that just came out. We also did a tier list on that. If you want to check out the new national team packs, I had Bellingham in S tier in that. I think for me, I prefer Bellingham to be an attacking player. So while that one went into S tier, I think this one goes into A tier, but it's going to be very high in A tier once we look.
And for me, S tier. Surprisingly, the other video I put him in A tier.
Yeah.
But this Bellingham box to box, he's S tier for me.
Yeah, so it's probably just a different style. Like you want Bellingham with his build, you want them more deeper, involved box to box. Whereas I think if I can use his height and his good dribbling balance with good finishing, I can put him in S tier and the other on the whole player version. So I understand it. All right, next guy, Rodri. I actually have Rodri on the game myself. I've got a lot of experience with this guy. Let me see how many games I have played with him.
There's no way you played more games with me. Is it? How many games have you played?
It's very small on my screen. 1 sec. Yes.
It can't be more than 500.
I've played 1,180.
You what?
I sub him on.
Double.
I have super sub on him.
You played 1,000. You said.
Yeah, I probably played like 600 of those games, like starting.
How? I swear I always use this card. I've got 567. That's crazy.
So yeah, this Rodri, I actually like him. I've got 1,000 games, maybe 1,200 games with him. You can see I put these skills on him. One thing is I put super sub on him just because I've got like Gilberto Silva. So I start Gilberto and then sub on Rodri if Gilberto's tired enough. And if I'm losing for the game changing pass, we'll get to that in a moment though. But what do you think, Johnny? How would you rate this Rodri?
I rate him. For me, he's insane. As you can see, I leveled him. I've used him well 500 games. I gave him decent skills. I probably want to change gamesmanship to like long range shooting, but apart from that, I think for me, insane. I think I'm definitely gonna put him in S tier. For me, he's like insane.
Yeah, I'm a bit stuck because I do like this Rodri a lot. I've played a lot with him, but I do think Gilberto Silva, like for example, is just noticeably better defensively, and Rodri doesn't really give much. He does give a lot in defense, but just it's noticeable the difference in Gilberto. But he is better. He's like more like an orchestrator. So he's better on the ball. Sorry. So I'm gonna put him in A tier below Bellingham at the moment. So that's all the players, Johnny. If we look at the lists, do you think anyone changes now that we're considering the game changing pass?
For me, probably I think I've got everyone in the right spot. I think. How about you?
I think I don't know. I think for your list, I'm looking at Neves. Do you think him being a free player plays any part, or are you just looking at it like purely like in terms of their ability?
Yeah, I think with the game changing pass coming into play, I think it could go. I'm looking at.
Yeah, I'd say leave it. I think it's fair. But I don't know. I had him in B tier, so I think he is a good player. But for me, I think I'm gonna put Rodri into S tier, and it's because of when I do think Gilberto's a better DMF. Like I'm saying, Rodri's better on the ball and provides more, and I have super sub on him. But even without super sub, this rings true. If you're trying to chase a lead, that's the common move I do. I bring on Rodri, and with the game changing pass, so it's only active. So yeah, when you're drawing or losing in the second half, it improves the player's pass abilities, and I do think it's not like a fake skill. I do think I actually notice it, so I definitely think he goes to S tier for that reason for me. But you already had him in S tier, so I think we're in agreement. pretty closely. Okay, so the next set of players we're going to look at is the visionary pass players. You can see it increases the accuracy of first-time balls.
Huh?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Pause.
A bit of a pause on that. First-time balls, that's kind of crazy.
Okay, so the next set of players we're going to look at is the visionary pass guys. It increases the first touch of players, and then if they do a one-touch pass or a first-time finish. So I actually have a couple of these guys. If we look at Modric first, I've used him for a good while of games. We've used him for nearly 400 games. But to be honest, I don't really like him too much. I have Orchestrators like one of my favorite playstyles, and I much prefer using a player like, I don't know, Xavi, the new Pedri phenomenal pass, who we'll get to later. Pirlo, even the Wilshere we got from the daily penalty game, I think is better than Modric. Like, he's not a terrible player at all. He actually has some good long shots, I think, is the key compare, but I just don't think there's enough in him. If I'm looking at his stats, though, I don't understand where I'm not liking him. Like, he's got the balance, he's got good speed, he's got okay defending stats, so I don't actually know why I don't like him too much. What about yourself?
Maybe look at mine.
Yeah, what about yourself, Johnny? Like, we have very similar builds, by the way. It's not too different. Just I've put more passing, I think, into. Or sorry, rather, you put more passing in. But other than that, we're pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, why do you like him, or what's your?
I think he's okay. I just think of him as a player. I'll say minus the visionary pass. I think him as a player. Like I said, like you mentioned, there's just better options in the orchestrator role. There are players with better defending, more speed, and even better dribbling, and even as orchestrators with better passing. I mean, better shooting. Sorry. So I think for me, he's okay. He's okay. He's not the greatest. Yeah, but because he's a thingy.
I'm gonna put him in high C tier or low B tier. I think I'm gonna put him low B tier. But now with the visionary pass, like, that might change my opinion. I'm not sure about you. Where are you putting them?
I'm gonna put him in C tier, the very highest of C tier.
Alright, fair enough. So we're pretty similar there. I'll just have him low B tier. Alright, the next player, this is a guy you like a lot, especially recently, Kevin De Bruyne. So I see on your YouTube you've been and you keep sending me clips too of the crazy passes. So give me your thoughts on this guy.
This guy is the best attacking midfielder AMF in this whole game. I don't care.
Okay.
I said it.
Okay, I don't know if I agree with that. I think he is decent. I use him myself.
This Showtime KDB, without minus the skill, just the amount of XP and leveling you can do with him. He is the best Showtime. He's the best cam in the game. Sorry.
Okay, I mean, I've used him myself. How many games have you got with him?
250.
And he's got a decent goals to game and assists ratio.
I was using him as a sub to begin with. I starting him now, and for me, like, I think I had like 12 goals to start with, or like, bro, he's just ever since this update with the hair he got, the new whatever he got. I'm telling you, it's the hair. The hair has aura, man. I'm
using him as a super sub actually as well. I actually have the skill on him, so I've got 373 games done, but a lot less goals and assists per match. Now I do mostly use this guy as a super sub because I have the skill. I'm not the biggest fan of him. I'm looking at my build compared to yours. I've put a bit more points into the lower body, but other than that, we have very similar builds. So I don't think the difference in how much we enjoy him is down to the build. I think it's just I think it's the fact that you're on pass assist 3 as well, isn't it?
And the additional skills I gave him instead, I think.
You gave him acrobatic first time and cut behind. I gave him I got double touch on him. That was the only skill I got was good. The other two are chop turn and chip shot and super sub.
Yeah,
although chip shot control is good in them because, well,
that's the last skill I need to give him, chip shot control.
Yeah, because it helps with lofted through balls if you aren't aware.
Yeah, that's the last skill I need to give him.
I don't know. For me, I'm gonna put this Kevin De Bruyne. Now, this is without considering visionary pass. I'm gonna put him, and don't get mad at me, Gianni. I'm gonna put him high C tier.
Fair play.
Okay.
Fair play.
You're not too mad?
No, I'm not mad. I saw the skills you gave him. I'm not mad.
Okay.
I'm not mad.
And you're putting them A tier.
I put A tier.
Okay, fair enough. So next player we're going to be looking at is Griezmann, and if you've watched my Griezmann review, you probably know the kind of idea of where I'm going to put him, because I really like the new big time Griezmann. I think he's really good, but every other version I've used has been terrible. And if I'm looking at the stats, this one's going to be the same. And now I haven't got this Griezmann, But I'm gonna.
I have him. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you put him then? Since you have him.
This Griezmann specifically, you're gonna see this
Without
live.
the skill. Yeah.
Without the skill, I'm putting him solid C tier, like at the back.
Yeah, I think
the worst one. I think.
Yeah. If I look at my list, I think. I think I'd rather Kroos than him, honestly. Yeah, I think he's bottom of C tier for me as well. And then the last player we're looking at for Visionary Pass is Slaza Bali, if I'm pronouncing that right. And we were just talking about him to go, this guy, I knew he was good because I knew he has got good skills. You were kind of shocked because I don't think you were playing the game much when this guy came out.
Crazy.
Yeah, so you can pull up his skills there because eFootball Hub's a bit inaccurate.
I'm gonna bring up the. Yep, I've got his skills here.
So yeah, if you look at his skills, he's got amazing ones. The only two he really needs are double touch and soul control, because that means you either flip flop, you'll get the level 3 double touch and then the knock on finesse for the long range curler. And if we have a look at the build I have anyway, Gianni has even one with better shooting. If you look at 94 kick and power, 92 curl, 84 finishing, like this guy looks insane. And then Gianni's build, it's actually even better, 95 kick and power and 88 finishing. So yeah, even without the skill, I think this guy is, I don't know. Look, this stats wise, he looks S tier, but I
can't like this S tier.
I don't know. For me, I don't think I can have him above Bellingham. I think, or I can have him above Bellingham, but I don't think I can have him a whole tier above Bellingham. So I think I'm gonna put him just above Bellingham in A tier. So he's top of A tier for me at the moment.
Yeah, I put him just behind KDB on A tier. Just behind.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think would the difference be that De Bruyne's just better at what would be the difference actually? Because is it the passing or?
So let's take a look. If I can bring up my build, KDB is better in passing, and he's anything attacking. And KDB's got 90 offensive awareness.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, and that's kind of like making him play like whole player a little bit, like but he'll be tempered about it. He'll make smart runs. So yeah, I can definitely understand that. But I do think when you're carrying the ball, Slazabali should be a little bit better. So we've covered every player there. Do you think anyone is changing now that we look at the or we consider the skills?
Yep.
Okay.
A couple.
Okay.
I think with the visionary pass, I think first of all, I think Griezmann goes at the just behind Modric in C tier. And I think as your KDB, if there was an S plus tier, he'd be in there.
Okay.
But we're gonna put him ahead of Bellingham.
That's crazy.
In game changing, I think.
That's crazy.
Because the visionary is actually, I think just because the visionary is insane. It's as a cam. I think he's the only cam I have who has really high offensive awareness, and every pass, because he can pass on both feet, he's got very high weak foot, and like it just goes straight. When I pass that ball straight to Mbappe, it's like I'm gone. I think I'm gone. So yeah.
For me, I think the players that are changing are Kevin De Bruyne goes up to B tier, and he is top of B tier. And then I think Griezmann goes top of C tier now, so he stays in the tier, but he goes top. And then I also think Slazabali just goes up with the S tier because I think he looks insane. But obviously, you do need, well, you don't need it, but I do think it'd be really helpful if you got double touch and soul control on him. I think if you don't have those skills, he's like kind of comfortably low A tier. But if you have him, those skills on him with the visionary pass, he goes into S tier.
And I'm just going to quickly, if for those of you who have the Showtime KDB, I'd recommend leveling like this and give him cut behind and turn, acrobatic finishing, and first time shot for sure. And the other two you can just decide on your own. But yeah, those three skills is like the big difference as well.
Yeah, I have double touch on him. I think it might not be a bad show.
Yeah, double touch as well could be the last. Could be double touch and then chip shot control could be the last two.
So the next set of players we're going to be looking at is edge crossing. So this enables you to hit a cross where it has a sharp kind of decline at the very end. And it, I don't know, what do you think about the players that they released for it? Do you think they warrant getting a Showtime skill? Because like if you look at Kroos, De Bruyne and all, you can see these are like the best passers in the world. But some of these players with the crossing, the only one I can think of that would, you know, immediately spring out that should get one, and he did, is Trent. So do you think these guys, what are your thoughts on these guys? Because you've actually used, you've used all of them, I think, haven't you?
Yep, I've used all of them. I've given them some of them skills as well.
So I've got just Trent, and I do think he's a very good player. The only thing is, I think he's a bit weak defensively, but it's not a major issue because you can still use him as an attacking player. Like, I would only use this guy if I'm confident I'm better than my opponent and I just want to increase my chances of scoring goals. Whereas if I'm worried about my opponent, I might kind of go for a more traditional fullback that has better defensive stats. So without the skill, I think this guy, this Trent, for me, is I don't know. I like him in real life. I think he's bottom of B tier for me. I think he's bottom of B tier. What about yourself?
For me, I just wish he was a fullback finisher or an attacking fullback. I think the cross specialist at right back is a problem for me. I think for me, I'd put him in solid. He might be the first. Like C, maybe D tier, but I think just because I know he's good sometimes, I'm just gonna put him in C tier, bottom of C tier. Actually, I'm putting him above. He's definitely. I just looked at C tier, definitely a better than Griezmann, so I'll put him high C tier. I played 410 games with him.
I've played 1,109.
What the hell? What the hell? Do you just play every player? Like, do you just have them on the bench and just sub them in the last 2 minutes of the game? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, you gotta get fresh legs on. So, like, I have played like nearly. I mean, I played 1,100 games with him, so I've got a lot of experience with this guy. But I just think I haven't used him in a while. He's out of contract. I haven't even really considered renewing his contract. So I do think there's a lot better right backs you can get in this game.
How many assists do you have of him?
I have 100, but you know what? I don't think a lot of these are with the skill. So we'll come back to that in a moment. We're gonna look at your other guys, Luke Shaw and DeMarco, I believe, isn't it?
No, and Trippier. I got Trippier.
Yeah, Trippier too. So tell me, out of the three of them, who do you think is the best?
Out of three of them is probably Luke Shaw.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats and I'm thinking Shaw.
Luke Shaw.
I'm thinking Shaw based off those stats. He just seems well-rounded. He's kind of bulky too. I think he looks pretty good. So what tier would you put him in?
He goes into B tier. I was gonna bring that up. He goes straight into high B tier, and then Trippier, I'm gonna put him in B tier as well.
Is this without the skill? Yeah.
This is without the skill.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, Trippier's C tier without the skill.
So the next player is DeMarco. What do you think about him, Jenny?
I like the look of this card. He's a fullback finisher.
Yeah, you think that's
very good for the skill.
Yeah, I think. Well, this is without the skill first. We're looking at but I still think he would be a good fullback finisher just because he's got really good acceleration and balance, so he can go into the middle and be nimble. Your build looks really good. I think my build doesn't look quite as good. I think I went more in defending. Yeah, I went a bit more into defending, but I do like your build, especially if you're going forward. So based on that, I think without the skill, DeMarco is going to go, I think, very high. I think he's gone top of B tier for me.
Yeah, I've got him in B tier as well.
Alright, fair enough. And then for me, the other players, Trippier, I think, I don't know, without the skill, C tier, and then Shaw, top of C tier without the skill as well. Now, does the skill play a big part in these guys for you?
I'd say the only person who plays a big part of me is probably the attacking fullbacks and the fullback finisher. DeMarco would probably still be the same because that means Shaw would have to go up as well. But Trippier would go. I think I look at it now and I think it's still the same.
Okay, for me, I think the same, except I had Shaw and Trippier in C tier, and I just want to move them up because it is something useful. The skill, like you can see, it's actionable. It's not as OP as it used to be, but I think edge crossing is ideal for not crossing it in for a header. I think it's when someone makes a late run into the box, you can hit it to them on the edge of the box, they'll take it down and shoot. So I think it's fair. I think every edge crosser is going to be a C tier for me, just because I think skill is quite important. So the next set of players we're going to look at is momentum dribbling. Essentially, what I feel it does is when you're in the final third, particularly just at the kind of where the box is, the 18-yard box, you just kind of get like +5 in your dribbling stats. So the first player we're going to look at is Vinicius Jr. And we were just having a quick talk off camera, and there's a lot of arguments if where to put this guy without the skill. So if you look at him compared to the player of the weeks have a lot more finishing. And these guys both came out recently, so a lot of you guys will have these Vinnies. But this Vinny, like is a Roman flank, and that's the major difference. So like yeah, well, I did look worse in the stats with this build anyway. I can put a little bit fast in. He's a Roman flank, which is a playstyle I really love. And yeah, Johnny, what do you think?
I think for me, this is probably the best Vinny we have apart from the play of the week, and the play style makes him.
Yeah, without the playstyle, without the playstyle, I think it's the other ones. But this guy has the Roman flank, and you can put the skills on. So, where would you place this guy on the tier list then?
Just as he is, without
considering
the skill. I think for me, Vinny without the skill, just as a roaming flank for me, I'm gonna put him in B tier.
Okay.
Just above.
Fair enough.
Above, sure. I think.
For me, I'm gonna put him in. I think without the skill as a Roman flank, I think I want to put him A tier still. Yeah, I'm gonna put him.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, well, I don't want to do this, so I'm gonna put him A tier. So the next player we're gonna look at is Kvaradona. I've used this guy quite a lot. You can see there, got a couple of 100 games with him. Decent goals and assists return. He's got great stats. To be fair, the longest time I had this guy, I had a different build and it was bad. The only critique with this build is it's not the fastest, but it's got good balance. But my major issue with this card is he can't play left mid and right mid. So what's your thoughts on him, Johnny?
Yeah, I think for me as a prolific winger, because prolific winger is only active as a left wing and right wing, I think he's probably one of the best dribblers in terms of wasting time, like, you know. But yeah, for me, especially with this patch now that dribbling is kind of back, I think for me he goes straight into. Where is he? He goes straight into B tier. I'll put him just behind the marker.
So the next two players we're going to look at are Mahrez and Matoma. I think we're kind of both in agreement. These guys aren't good enough. Mahrez just isn't fast enough, and his kick and power and finishing isn't great. And then Matoma is pretty similar critique, just his kick and power and finishing isn't great. So I think for me, he's going to go, or both of them are going to go just comfortably in C tier. Now, reminder, this is without the Showtime skill, but what about you, Johnny? Didn't you have them? Where would you have them?
I have Mahrez in C tier, but I have him at the top of C. I have him at the middle of C tier. Kind of top, kind of middle. Matoma, I actually have Matoma in D tier. I have Matoma in D tier because he's terrible finishing, bad passing, and ball control is low, and his balance is quite low.
Alright, fair enough.
And his offensive awareness is quite low.
Okay, so the next player we're going to talk about is Kubo, and if you've used this guy before, you know this guy is insane. Not even just this card. Nami love this guy. He's like their wonder boy, and they give him his own shooting animations for finesse shots. And if you look at these stats here, he looks insane. So I think for me, Kubo is going to go into, I think top of A tier. I think there's just something missing about him in terms of, I don't feel like if you dribble outside of him, he's too effective. You think you have to cut in, but he is very good at cutting in, kind of like Iron Robin in a way. What about you, Johnny?
For me, I was gonna put him in A tier, but I put him in B just because his offensive awareness is very low. But he's a ball carrier. But I have him at the top of B tier, actually just behind Vinny in B tier.
Yeah, and I actually never really see this guy very often, so he must have came out with not some great players in the pack. Alright, I'm just realising I forgot to put Kvara in my list. I think he's just going to be a comfortable B tier player. I actually would rather him than most of them. I have my head of Modric and stuff. But now we're going to look at the players with the skills. And for you, Gianni, does that change where these guys rank on your tiers?
Yeah, it changes a lot of them.
Yeah, I think the same for me.
Yeah, and the fact you can train Vinny as a centre forward, so in the 18-yard box with phenomenal with the dribbling, I'm going to put him in A tier, above the other guy. Kubo goes into A tier, Kvara goes in the highest of B tier, and Mahrez just edges and goes into the bottom of B tier. And then Matoma still stays in D tier.
Okay, it's a bit harsh. For me, I think Mahrez just moves up to the top of C tier. And then we go, where is it? Kvara goes into the top of... Actually, no, he goes B tier just behind the Marco. And then I actually don't think the A tier players change for me. I think they kind of stay where they are. So the next skill we're going to look at is Fortress. It improves the defensive abilities in the second half as long as you're winning. So it's kind of like Super Sub, but only if you're winning and to hold on to a lead. I don't have these guys, but you have Marquinhos, don't you?
Yeah, I've got Marquinhos.
So what's your thoughts on Marquinhos?
I'd say this Marquinhos is very good. Sometimes he's a bit on the weak side, doesn't really fight for the badge, but with the Fortress in the second half, he's pretty nuts, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I played a few games with him, 500 games with him.
A few games, yeah, good. A few games. Okay, so if you're saying without the Fortress, he's a bit like weaker than fight for the badge, so you're probably where you're gonna have him on the tier list.
I think for me, probably without the skill, he still goes straight into B tier.
Yeah, I think that's fair because he's got like other good skills. So he's like he's good.
High B tier.
Yeah, he's a good ball playing centre back. So I think I'd rather him than like Verratti and Modric and stuff. But I think I'd rather Ruben Neves. Actually, yeah, no, because we got free Wilshere, so I'm gonna put him above Ruben Neves. Next player is Militao. Now I don't like this guy in this game. And I don't like the look of the build I gave him. He's always a bit weak for me. But you're saying that a lot of top players use him, aren't you?
Yeah, and the build I can see why.
Yeah,
he's crazy.
Yeah, I think the problem for me, I don't know what the problem for me is. He's got good aggression. He's got good speed, acceleration. I can see him being a good. I think if he's a destroyer, he'd be better because he's fast and he's got good aggression. He could come out and hit someone. I think as a build-up, it's not greatest, but he does have good dribbling and defense pass stats for a centre back, so the build-up shouldn't be too bad in him. But for me,
and he can play right back as well.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I think for me, he's gonna go top of C tier. I don't think anything too special. Then that might be a bit crazy. Where are you gonna have him?
I'm gonna have him in B tier above Marquinhos.
Okay. I'd much rather Marquinhos. Next player is Van Dijk, and now I like this guy in eFootball and real life. You like him as well, but you were saying that this one is actually worse than the league selection Van Dijk that came out recently.
Yep.
So yeah, this league selection one's better. He's good in the game, but I do think the fact that this exact player, the same guy, there's a better version and he was a lot cheaper. I think it makes this Van Dijk like not that high on my list. I don't think he's decent. I think I would put him at the top of or the bottom of B tier, ahead of Trippier, but below Shaw for me.
I'd have him B tier just because Van Dijk is
Aura.
A huge unit.
He's aura. He's got aura, isn't he? He's aura defending.
He's aura, yeah. He's got aura defending. I really can't count him out. Any form of VVD is good.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's some VVDs that are better. I put him B tier just behind.
Yeah.
Kvara, I think.
And then the next player we're looking at, you said you like the look of him a lot, is Thiago Silva. I'm not too impressed with him because his aggression's low and he's a destroyer. I think if he was a build-up, kind of reverse of Militao. Militao has build-up playstyle but high aggression, and then this guy has low aggression. Well, relatively low aggression, and he's a destroyer. So I think their just playstyles are wrong. So for me, Thiago Silva is gonna go into. I think I'd rather him than Van Dijk, but I think he's just right beside him.
Yeah, I think for me, the only thing that lets him down is the pace. Everything else is good, but for me, just because of that pace and because he's a destroyer, I'm gonna put him at the he might go straight into C tier.
Yeah,
top of C tier.
I think if he was a build-up, he'd be really high. I think he'd be like high B tier, maybe A tier, but destroyer rounds up. So now, if we're considering the skills, do these guys change for you? And you're someone who's used the skills, so
Militao goes straight into A tier, probably behind, or I'm gonna put him above. It's just second behind Vinny in A tier. Marquinhos goes at the bottom of A tier, and Van Dijk goes into top of B tier, and Thiago Silva goes into B tier above Luke Shaw.
Okay, I think obviously I haven't used it myself, so I'm just gonna have to go with you. But I do think with the way I'm playing recently with long ball counter, a lot of games I'm only winning by 1 goal, so it would be handy to have a Fortress. So I'm just gonna move them up a few spaces.
You would really love VVD because he'd be winning those headers as well.
Yeah, fair enough. So I think
Fortress.
I think having a build up is better when you're trying to hold on to a lead. So I think I'd switch considering the skill. I think I'm going to move Van Dijk ahead of Thiago Silva. Okay, so the next skill we're going to look at is phenomenal finishing. So it increases the power and accuracy of finishing shots attempted from unorthodox body positions. So it's basically, it's fair to say, it's acrobatic finishing on steroids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Acrobatic finishing on steroids.
So you have a couple of these guys. You have Ronaldo and Lewa. So start off with Lewandowski. What's your thoughts on this guy? Because we actually had a look at him earlier. You're kind of like him, don't you? But you kind of didn't even realize how much you liked him. So if you look at your
Yeah,
games played, look at the games played. So you played 60 games, 40 goals. That's a great return. So why aren't you using them?
I'm not using him because of Mbappe. I'll be real.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
But for me, he's definitely like one of the most like in terms of a big man. He's a very technical big man.
Okay, so but this is without the skill first. So do you think even without the skill, he's that good? Like, does he get on the ball?
He's definitely still that good. Definitely still that good.
Okay. So where would you have him on the list?
On the list, I'd have him. You go straight into B tier. I think I'll probably put him above VV. Oh, I'll probably put him above Thiago Silva.
Okay, fair enough.
And above Cavara as well.
Okay, for me, I think he's just gonna go on C tier. I'd have him below Mahrez, but above the rest. The next player, Ronaldo. Right.
Yep.
How's the goat? How's the goat?
I'll be real. This guy without the skill is a solid. Like the rest of them, average C tier.
Nah, I'm looking at his stats there though. He's got 95 kick up air, 95 finish. Like, that's good.
I'm talking about without the skill.
I know without the skill, but that's still good. That's still
C tier. Sorry.
No, I
played.
Go on.
80% alright, to be fair.
Yeah, but that's what the skill does. So you're putting him in C tier. I think I've used Ronaldo a lot, but not this version. I haven't got the showtime, unfortunately. I think he's a good player if you put Super Sub and Eros PR in him. So looking at those stats, it's better than any version I've used. I'm gonna put him in. I would put him in B tier if you didn't put those skills on, and then I'd put him top of B tier if you have Super Sub and aerial superiority. So there's
I've just realized if I put Lewandowski in B tier, I'm gonna have to put CR7 in B tier. I just realized because they're kind of the same player, but I'm gonna have to drop. I'm gonna put Ronaldo in high C tier and drop Lewa to bottom of B tier.
Alright. If you look at the stats, I don't agree with it, but fair enough. I think Ronaldo's better. The next few players, so both of us have used a lot of Kane, a lot of Osimhen. Actually, I'm not sure about you and Osimhen. And a lot of Haaland.
I faced a lot of Osimhen as well. I faced all of them.
Yeah, so I do think I don't like Kane. I know you do. For me, Kane just doesn't play like he does in real life. He doesn't have the pass ability. So for me, he is honestly he's D tier for me. I don't get mad at me, Jenny.
Wow.
Don't get
really?
mad. Yeah, but he doesn't pass like he does in real life. You can agree with that. You can agree with that.
On this one, yeah, I agree with that on this one. I think he's good just because he can use both feet. He's got good ball control, and as a deep line forward, someone who drops deep to win headers as well. I think he's very good.
I mean, look, if he had plus 10 on both pass stats, he's a very good player. But just deep line forward, it just doesn't suit for me. So I'm keeping him in D tier. Where did you have him?
I have him in C tier.
Okay.
Like in the C tier as well.
Okay, so
the bottom.
Next player is Osimhen. I used to love Osimhen in this game. He was the first, like, when I first got top 100, he was leading the line. Player of the week. He was a very good card, but I think at this point in the game, you don't really just need a striker that's fast and good at finishing. You need a bit more. You need some dribbling or some passing. So I think also for me, Osimhen is bottom of D tier. I think I'd rather him than Matoma, but not Kroos. I think that's where I'd put him. And then for Haaland, Haaland's quite good. He's got Super Sub. I conceded an annoying goal to him today because if you have Super Sub on a player and they have good offensive awareness and acceleration, the passes go through them a lot more often. So I think without the skill, I would have him just below Ronaldo. I think so near the top of B tier.
I have him above Ronaldo in C tier.
Okay, and then where's Osimhen?
Osimhen is in the middle of C tier between Kane and Modric.
So next player is Icardi, and I think he's actually quite good. He's got Fox in the box playstyle, so couple that with the 99 offensive awareness. He looks pretty decent. What do you think, Johnny?
I think he looks pretty decent as well. I'm just looking at his card now. But for me, I'm gonna put him in C tier as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna
have him just behind Ronaldo, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do something similar. I think I'm gonna have him in C tier, but I'm gonna have him just below the rest of the pack. And to be honest, this isn't really this is a bias. I don't really like him in real life, so I think I have him below, but I don't think he's too much different. Actually, no, I'm gonna have him. I'm gonna have him below Trent. I think I would definitely much rather Trent and Shaw. Yeah, I'm gonna have him actually near the bottom of B tier. So that's without the skills.
Yeah.
Does the skills change it?
Yep.
Big time.
Changes. Changes someone in big time.
Okay.
The biggest one, CR7 goes from C to the top of A tier.
Yeah, I can. And it's the very high weak foot, isn't it? It's like
it goes straight to the top of A
yeah.
tier.
You were always because I love Ronaldo. You're not the in real life. You're always a hater, and it's funny that you have him and I don't. So
there's 3 strikers I hate in this game: Eto, CR7, and Romario. Those are the 3 strikers I hate in this game.
Like as in,
those 3.
You don't like using them?
Facing them. I hate facing them. I hate facing them. Those 3.
Okay, so yeah, I think Ronaldo shooting up to A tier is fair, and based on what I've seen, especially from you and your YouTube channel, I think he moves up into A tier as well. I think I'd have him over Vinny,
and then
but I wouldn't have him over Bellingham.
Osimhen goes into B tier as well because there's a guy called LB as well. He's another guy I hate facing with Osimhen.
Yeah, he loves Osimhen. Yeah,
he goes to B tier, I think, as just a striker. His job is to finish. I think he goes into mid B tier.
Then what about Haaland?
And then Lewandowski for me.
Oh, Lewandowski, forgot about him.
Lewandowski goes to the top of B tier.
Okay.
And then Icardi remains. Haaland goes into B tier as well. I'll be real. Haaland goes above, just behind Osimhen. Actually, above Osimhen. Actually, behind Osimhen. And then Icardi remains in C tier, I believe.
Okay, so for me, it's a bit different. I think I'm gonna have Haaland. Actually, no, Haaland stays in B tier, but I do think he still stays above Osimhen and Lewandowski. I think Osimhen's gonna move up into the top of C tier, but Lewandowski is gonna move because I think he has better weak foot. Am I wrong in that?
Lewandowski is high. Let me check Osimhen. Osimhen he has just medium, bro.
Yeah, so that's why I would have Lewandowski a lot higher. I think for phenomenal finishing as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Kane higher than him as well then.
Okay, so I'm gonna have Lewa in. I think I would rather Lewa than Neves, but not De Bruyne. So the final players I've used 2 of them. I've used Bernardo, Pedri. Haven't got Xavi Simons. So if I'm gonna rank these guys, the phenomenal passing. I've done a couple of videos on these guys. So the way phenomenal passing works is phenomenal pass increases the power and accuracy of passes attempted from unorthodox body positions. So I think when I'm looking at the skill, these guys are quite good. I think Pedri is S tier for me. I think he is better than everyone else in this list. I think he's an amazing player. I have training guides on him. I did a build with just about 70 defending, and he intercepts everything. It's in my player review also. You can see clips of him intercepting everything. And one thing is, I feel like when he intercepts it, it's glued to his foot as well. I don't even know why, because his tackling isn't high. So yeah, this Pedri is one of the best players I've used in eFootball. What about yourself?
People quit, bro.
Man, you've been playing a lot. All right. So when you were showing me these clips you've been getting of Bernardo, I thought it was a different version. I didn't realize it was this one. So yeah. You're definitely gonna have this guy high. So this is without the phenomenal pass first. Is it actually? We'll get to that in a sec. So where would you have him without phenomenal pass?
Without the phenomenal pass, and by the way, he is like Pedri as an orchestrator. I think he's better as a whole player, but as an orchestrator, he's actually pretty good. I have him in the highest of B tier.
That's crazy.
Maybe actually the highest Pedri orchestrator. Actually, I have an A tier.
Yeah, I think actually Pedri's better as an orchestrator. I definitely prefer that
as a thingy, right? I think so. I was thinking that, but. That whole player, the one that what was that MVP whole Pedri that came out? Was he a whole player?
No, I don't know about MVP. I had a different one that looked.
It was like a green, yellow, and blue kind of card.
I don't know. I think no. There's only 2 orchestrators, I believe. Pedri's, this one and a national pack one that came out with like probably Xavi or something. So I think these are the only 2. So yeah, I think but I do prefer Pedri as an orchestrator. I had the last one as well. The other orchestrator card, and I think this one's much better, so he's S tier for me.
I have him in top A tier, at the very top.
Yeah, so next player, Bernardo Silva. In my review, he was scoring some long range shots. I don't think there's much else to him, unfortunately. He needs double touch. But I think with double touch, he'll become a very good player, so I think I'm going to put him in B tier ahead of Marquinhos, so he's going to be 4th in B tier for me. You've been using Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
Was it this version? You've already got 60 games with Bernardo.
Yep. his dribbling, and his like because he's got track back as well. He
track back actually. Mid. I need to remember that track back. So I think he goes above Kvara for me. Actually, no, he goes top of B tier because of that track back. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, for me, and that's why I gave him some points in aggression and tackling. Yeah. So even with the boost, he goes to like high. Maybe super sub will help as well as an additional skill. But for me, he goes as a right mid only. I've tried him in cam. He's pretty good in cam. But as a right mid only for me, he goes straight into A tier behind, I think, Vinicius in A tier.
Yeah, I think I don't have a formation at the moment that has a right mid, so I haven't really used him at his best, so I would agree he is best there. So the next player is Xavi Simons. I don't have him, but Gianni does. Now, if it shows a build, this guy does look pretty good, doesn't he?
Yeah, pretty good.
So yeah, I think just a whole player as well. But I think the thing that makes this guy really good is, well, he has got all the good stats. He also has the kick and power, which I think Konami could have easily not given it to him. I think the kick and power makes him good. He can see his positions in the top right, he can play everywhere. I think this guy, even without the phenomenal pass, is pretty good. I'm going to put him in A tier below Ronaldo and above Vinny. Where do you have him?
I have him at the bottom of A tier, behind, whatever his name is, the Hungarian.
Okay, so with the skills now, I actually done a video on this saying if the skill is kind of noticeable or worth it. I do think it's noticeable. Is it worth it? The money, I don't know. Now, this video is going to be up after that pack expires, so I guess the value doesn't matter too much for the video, but I think this skill does change the players a little bit. I think it keeps Bernardo in B tier, but I think it moves Xavi Simons up to S tier because I said in the video, I think the further up the pitch you can have the player, I think the more phenomenal passing is going to be useful because you're going to be more likely under pressure and into an unorthodox body position. So I really do think Xavi Simons, I think Xavi Simons would be the best player for phenomenal passing. I don't think he makes him better than Pedri as a player overall, but I do think definitely pushes him up into S tier. What do you think, Johnny?
For me, he goes up, but not that much. Well, I'll start with Pedri. Pedri remains probably, he was already A tier, so the passing would probably put him into S tier if I'm being honest. Just a bit, but he was already that good to begin with.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't have him in S tier to start though, because most people would have Pedri's in S tier because he's such a good player in this game. But
I had him kind of in S tier.
Yeah, you have him top, top of A tier.
Yeah. Okay. Bernardo goes above Vinny for me, and CR7 Vinny goes straight to the top of A tier.
Really, above Ronaldo?
Yeah, he is that good. I'm telling you right now, he's that good.
Okay.
Simons, on the other hand, he goes up as well. I think out of the three, he's probably the second most I noticed the pass with. I'd put him just behind Bernardo, but Pedri is S tier for sure.
Okay, so that's the list. Now, if you had to, off the top of your head, rank the skills, how would you rank them? Okay, guys, so we're back a day later, and after editing video, I noticed we forgot to put the blitz curlers in, so we're gonna rank them now for you real quick. So Johnny's back with me. Yeah, so we're gonna first without the skills. Where would you put Chiesa? Now,
I put Chiesa in C tier.
Have a look at the stats, bro.
I have him.
He has 90 with this build. He has 96 finishing, 93 dribbling, 90 ball control, 90 speed, 93 acceleration, 97 kick power.
Yeah, I'll still put his C tier.
Okay, you can do that. I'm putting him. I'm putting him at the bottom of A tier.
Yeah.
And then Son, I'm gonna put. Level him up.
I put Son in A tier.
1 sec. Yeah, he does look A tier worthy. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put Son at the bottom of A tier. Actually, ahead. I think I'd rather him than Xavi Simons and Slaza Bali. Yeah, I'm gonna put him near the top of S tier actually. What about you?
I'm gonna put him in A tier, just behind KDB without the skill.
Okay, fair enough. And then for Salah, without the skill, I'm going to put him in S tier, in second place, just ahead of Rodri and behind Pedri. This guy is amazing. Now, with the skills, I think it changes the rankings. I think for Chiesa, instead of playing at the bottom of A tier, he goes straight to the top. I think Son moves up to the top player. I think he's top of S tier. And then Salah, with the skill, moves ahead Pedri. So Pedri's now in third place. And then Salah and Son are in S tier. So I think it's maybe it was good we forgot to include them, actually, because it gave more of an interesting discussion, because they just kind of blow the competition out of the water. But where would you have them with the skill? S tier?
I'd have Chiesa towards the top of B tier. I'd have Son in S tier. And I'd have Salah in S tier as well.
Okay, so
I still put Son above Salah in S tier.
Yeah, I think without the Showtime, I think Salah's better, and then with the Showtime skill, Blitzkrieg added, I think Son becomes better because he can do it on both feet. I wish he was a goal poacher, because if you can do it on both feet, I'm playing in the middle, but I think it's fine either way. So yeah, this is recorded the day after the first part, so we're gonna go into a discussion now, talking about the tier list and the skills, and which skills we rank in highest to lowest. Although we don't talk about Blitzkrieg, but just I don't even think I have to ask Gianni. I will though. I think Blitzkrieg is the best skill. Would you agree?
Nope.
No. Okay. Where do you have it? Don't tell me what's above it. Just tell me where you'd rank it. What number?
I put it in third.
Okay, he has it in third place, so I don't know. He can you can see what he has in first and second, and compare it to that.
If I'm talking about most effective skill,
yeah, because what I want to do is I want to see if the effectiveness of the skill is translating to how we have the players on the lists.
Yeah, but this is tough though. I get like each skill had to but I know which one's the worst. The worst is probably what edge crossing is. Edge crossing is the worst. Yeah. I know that for sure. Edge crossing is definitely the worst.
Okay, do you know what? I kind of agree with you. It might be the worst for how effective it is, but it's most fun to use probably, and it's the most obvious one as well. I think because it's I think it's the only one that's not really a passive one. I guess visionary pass you can kind of notice as well, but it's can be hard to notice visionary. You can directly see edge crossing though. I can understand that. So you think it's the worst, but let me look at your list and the tier list. If you have you have those players kind of in the middle, yeah. So, no, the bottom actually, yeah. So I guess that does correlate. For me, I have them
and B tier.
For me, I have them a bit higher than C tier. I think I have them all in B tier actually. I think I had them all in B tier because I actually don't think it's the worst. For me, well, I haven't got Fortress, so I can't really comment on that. The other ones, I don't know. Visionary Pass, I don't like as much. I haven't used it in a while though, and I only have De Bruyne, who I don't actually have high on the list anyway. Well, majorly high. Like a B tier player from my team, you rotate your squads a lot more. I kind of just stick with higher rated squads. So like a B tier player doesn't really get into my team very much. Like it's got that there's a reason I have Super Sub on, because these players that are high up on B tier would be the type of players that I'd bring on the reserves just kind of if I want to try them out. Like actually, if we look at the players, Bernardo Silva's on my bench right now, and Kvaradona was on my bench a couple of weeks ago when I was playing wingers, and De Bruyne was on my bench a couple of months ago. Trent used to always be on my bench too, but since I got Philip Lam, I don't need him now. So yeah, I think that's kind of like, I think that kind of accurately reflects from me there. Momentum dribbling though, I think it's been nerfed. I remember the first week there was great, like you would notice, you could see straight away when these guys went deep, they just got faster. Whereas now I don't notice it, and I don't know why. Like I don't know if it's. I think it's been nerfed. I think momentum dribbling's been nerfed.
Well, I think as of version 3.6.0, as of the version now, I think it could be like meta right now.
Yeah, because I'm definitely a lot higher in leaderboards now, and I rely on dribbling. Yeah. And I haven't brought Kvara back into my squad, so I haven't actually got a chance to use it in the newest update. So maybe I'll have to do that in one of my next streams just to try them out. But then you think, what about Fortress? You think the players are kind of high on the list, but you were saying to me off camera it's a little bit you're not sure about it.
I'm not sure, but I'd say it can only help. But if your defenders are already stacked to begin with, there's already like heavy AI involved, so it can just help.
Yeah, the way the stats work, if it's given a boost to stats, most of the defensive stats are already extremely high anyway. So
yeah,
and most top players level their defenders. They just try firstly get the defensive stats to 90, and after that look at the other stats, and then if they can get another few stats above like to 95, maybe they'll do it. But it's usually 95 is like golden for a defender. So I do think Fortress isn't majorly important, but you do like Visionary Pass.
Yep, that's very hard for me. It's probably the second, probably first or second. I can't decide.
Well, I think talking to you, I think if I was to guess, I think you would have. I mean, if De Bruyne wasn't De Bruyne, I don't think you'd have Visionary Pass quite as high because you love him, but I still think you'd have a high because you've always been telling me how much you notice it. But I don't know, you like Visionary Pass, Phenomenal Finishing, and Phenomenal Pass a lot, don't you?
No, Phenomenal Pass, not really, but I prefer. I love Game Changing Pass.
Okay.
Visionary Pass and Phenomenal and Momentum Dribbling. I say those.
So you like them all?
I like. Okay, I'll take Phenomenal Finishing out, and I put Visionary.
Can you get Phenomenal? You have Ronaldo in 8 here because of Phenomenal Finishing. Like you had him in. Didn't you have him in C here?
Yeah, but that's just him though. I mean, look at the others. That's because he is already scripted.
Yeah, he is a bit scripted. Ronaldo juice. Yeah.
It's like the Phenomenal Finishing was just made for him. It was just literally made for him.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I for me personally, I don't think the Showtime skills are major. I spun for the Phenomenal Passes just because I knew Maradona was coming after, so I was like, all right, let me just get one of these so I can kind of get my experience on it and keep the coins. Then I got rinsed, and I ended up getting Pedri and Bernardo in a double pack. But I do think Pedri's really, really good. He's the best player in my list, so I'm not too upset with having the Phenomenal Pass. But overall, I don't think the skills are major. You think they are?
I think they are. So I think for me, the second half is that Game Changing Pass is like you can just ping it, like spam long balls. But I think Visionary Pass for me is Visionary Pass, Momentum Pass, and Game Changing Pass are my favorites.
Yeah, I think Visionary Pass.
How would you rank them though?
I don't know, off the top of my head, I would rank them. Well, I think Momentum Dribbling has been nerfed. If it didn't get nerfed, even if it did, I don't know. If how I remember it is accurate, I'd have that top. Then I would probably go for. I don't know, because I haven't used Phenomenal Finishing or Fortress. Like, looking at the clips you sent me of Ronaldo, I think I'd have to have that very high as a skill. Now, you have to remember, I'm talking about the skill, not the players it's on.
Just a skill.
Players it's on. Like, if I could put one Showtime skill on any player, I think I would put Phenomenal Finishing on Pullet.
I'll put it on Romario because of that weak foot. I'll put it on him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd put it on Pullet or. I think if I had to put a skill on anyone, I'd be putting Phenomenal Finishing on someone, or Phenomenal Passing maybe on Messi.
Ooh.
Yeah, Phenomenal Passing on Messi would be crazy, wouldn't it?
Ooh, that'd be cool. That World Cup pass would be like recreated, I think.
Yeah, or I wouldn't mind Visionary Pass on a defender, especially like a defender with weighted pass and low lofted pass.
Nah, on a goalkeeper.
Yeah, or a goalkeeper. Imagine an Ederson with Visionary Pass. Or Game Changing Pass, either one. I think Visionary Pass would be better though, but that would be good. So I think that's kind of how I would kind of round up my thoughts on the Showtime skills. But thanks for joining me, Gianni.
Summarize?
Yeah,
I haven't picked mine. I haven't listed mine yet.
Oh, have you not? I thought we did. But anyway, go on.
I'll just go from worst to best. Worst, Fortress, then Edge Crossing, then Phenomenal Finishing, then Visionary Pass, Game Changing Pass, and then at the top, Momentum Dribbling. Okay,
that's surprising. I don't agree with Momentum Dribbling, but if it was like how I remembered it months ago when I first came out, I definitely would have the top. But I think that that wraps it up there. Thanks for joining. Me and Johnny have done some other tier lists.
Actually, Visionary Pass at the top.
No, don't forget that.
No, because I have like a thing at the end. That's a funny
thing. And then I also done in this playlist tier list with Pepe, and then Gianni's channel will be in the description. He's a great kind of resource for just kind of general discussion about this game. He helps me a lot with my understanding of the game. So check him out. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know half the stuff I'm talking about. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you for another tier list, probably because we kind of keep wanting to bang them out. So, but